join so far.
Yeah, yeah. People are up. Their plane is just on in the sky, sir. They are coming.
No problem. Please take your time.
Yeah.
I know it always happens, so no worry.
Good evening, Mehta sir.
नमस्ते नमस्ते गुड इवनिंग
नमस्ते।
कैसे हैं आप लोग? नमस्कार कर्नल साहब। कर्नल साहब नमस्ते। बीना जी नमस्ते।
Hi, good evening, Dr. Veena. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, the smart secretary of ISPT. Hi, great, Dr. Vandana. You have already got into Army Welfare Organization. Big way. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you, sir. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Very nice.
आपको
Army ladies will be benefited, so will be the officers.
Yes.
How nice.
आज से यूनिट में जाना स्टार्ट कर दिया है सर। मैंने वहाँ यूनिट्स में जा रही हूँ ग्रुप सेशंस के लिए।
Very good.
हाँ।
I'll ask them and find time if I can reach some time when you are there.
22 को सर उनका सेंट्रल लेक्चर है मेरा। 22 को बहुत और उनके ऑडिटोरियम में, तो आप 22 को आराम से आ सकते हैं। वहाँ सबको इनविटेशन जाएगा 22 का।
Commendable. What's your timing?
22 को है I will let you know, sir. I am not remembering much. अभी मुझे ध्यान नहीं आ रहा है, but I will let you know. I think 11 to 12:30 है।
Okay, that's wonderful. Very good. Appropriate time. Anyway, I have all the time to listen to you. That would be very good. How nice. Dr. Arora has reached.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here.
Sir, good evening and namaskar, pranam.
Good evening, Lamba Saab.
And all possible pranam and sastang pranam to you, sir.
Oh my God, I don't deserve that. You're such an
You
important
deserve much more, any case.
No,
All of us bow to you,
eminent
sir.
personality.
Great of you, kind of you to have said all that, sir. How nice.
So we have 18 people, 18. You can start whenever you want, okay?
Another 2-3 minutes, sir, because the Indian timings, you know, by nature, they turn up by 5 minutes you grace, you give them, sir. And already 9, correct, 6 past 7 now. You're right.
We start at 7:10. Is it okay?
I think that would be appropriate. More number you may find, you know. A large number are keen to listen to you, sir.
Well, the thing is that you're doing such a wonderful work, ISTD Jaipur chapter. But the question is the initiative to be taken by members. That is more important. And pleading with them that please come and join. All the time it happens in the organizations that I have headed. It's always happened. Very difficult to get the people on board.
Good evening, sir.
Vasudha, good.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Wonderful. Thank you, Vasudha.
It's lovely to see you, sir.
He's my student, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kamal Tiwari also is my student, yeah.
There it is.
Me also, long back in 2001.
You?
Yes. When you did preparatory class with जयपुर इंस्टीट्यूट जो रामबाग पर स्टार्ट हुआ था ना इन 2001 में, तो वहां पे प्रिपरेटरी क्लास एमबी आर्मेट की प्रिपरेटरी क्लास में आपने प्रिपरेशन करवाई थी।
वंडरफुल वंडरफुल वंडरफुल। ओके, लेट अस स्टार्ट नाउ।
So should we proceed, sir? Or 2 minutes more we wait for the some audiences?
अच्छा, अनिल मेहता साहब आए हैं। अरे भाई, मैं तो बोलना बंद हो जाएगा आपको देख के। जायंट ट्रेनर राजन अरोड़ा साहब हैं क्या, या तस्वीर ही है? अरोड़ा साहब
है सर, राजन रंजन अरोड़ा सर इसमें थे, अभी देखा है मैंने उनको। ही इज
नमस्कार सर।
ओके, नमस्ते जी, नमस्ते। नाइस मीटिंग यू। अच्छा, we have to close at 7, is it true? And then what about question answer? You have question answers after 7, or sorry, close at 8. You close at 8, है ना?
8.
7 to 8.
7 to 8.
Okay.
According to your convenience, sir, last we can organize the Q&A. So,
Okay, please.
So, okay. So should we proceed?
Please do.
I, Dr. Rajesh Mehti, Chairman, ISTD Jaipur, welcome to Ramesh K. Arora, sir, Professor Ramesh K. Arora. It's just like an asset for the chapter and for society also. And to all the audiences who are at here to contribute the initiatives of ISTD Jaipur. As you know very well that ISTD, Indian Society of Training and Development, is contributing for nation building by its L&D activities. Jaipur chapter is also putting the Samhita in the Yagna of ISTD. So Jaipur chapter is contributing by various attempts by which we are making just like that from the unconsciousness to consciousness of a chapter's members. First one is monthly expert exchange series added by Program Director Dr. Veena K. Arora. Second one is monthly decoding wisdom, how we can take away from the books. Program Director Sri Ramkesh Meena is contributing for that one. One physical activity we did 2 sessions for that one. Walk to talk 3.0, just that is going to be happen in this 1 month. The fourth one is publication. Program Director Dr. Tulsigiri Goswami from Central University. And fifth one is Trainers Directory. Program Director Sri Anupam Jain, Dr. Anupam Jain, Treasurer of ISTD Jaipur. So we have taken this step to take an actions or reactions in this chapter. And ab initio, Professor Arora is also told how you can attract more and more members to the activities of Jaipur chapter. So we are working for that one, sir. And many more.
I know. You're doing excellent work.
So once again, welcome to all of you. कहते भी है कि यदि किसी उत्सव या किसी त्योहार में साथी लोग शामिल नहीं हुए, उसका कोई महत्व नहीं। तो जितना स्पीकर का महत्व है, उतना ही आपका आने का महत्व है। और उसके लिए ग्रेटिट्यूड फ्रॉम माय टीम ISTD Jaipur also, and Dr. Veena K. Arora, she's making utmost efforts to carry on this one series. I also recognize the presence of my seniors, Lieutenant Colonel Joginder Singh Lamba sir, Professor Anil Mehta, and rest of the members also. They are the milestone, or they are the backbone of ISTD Jaipur chapter. So once again, and we are going to carry on this one today's series. So I would like to invite the program director and National Council member and director, managing director of 3T L&D organization. So I would like to invite Dr. Veena K. Arora for proceeding more and to introduce Professor Ramesh K. Arora to the August gathering. Over to Dr. Veena K. Arora.
Thank you, Dr. Mehti, and a very good evening to all the ladies and gentlemen who have assembled here this evening to attend this wonderful session that we have been waiting for by Professor Ramesh K. Arora sir. अरोड़ा सर को इंट्रोड्यूस करना तो सूर्य को दीपक दिखाने लायक जैसा है,
दिखा दीजिए दीपक।
हाँ सर, बिल्कुल कोशिश तो करूंगी ही।
नहीं, प्लीज सुनो, everyone knows me and I know everyone. मत करो ये इंट्रोडक्शन प्लीज।
सर छोटा सा
सबको
फॉर्मेलिटी
जानता
है।
हूँ,
So
जो मैं नाम पढ़
there
रहा
are
हूँ, I know them.
But then there are people from education that you don't know, like Piyush Kumarji is here. He's from Ajmer, and there are some others also joining in. I've just received messages from them. So, jaldi se sir, I will hardly take a minute. So, Professor Arora sab, he did his BCom and then went on to do MA, Masters in Public Administration, thereafter MPhil and PhD from US as a senior Fulbright scholar at Syracuse University, New
Sir,
York.
good evening.
So
I am in a program, sir.
he was professor of public administration at University of Rajasthan and at
Very
HCL
kind. I am
Riva.
attending the
And
program, sir.
currently, वंदना मैम आप उनका म्यूट
Very
करें,
true.
लांबा सर को शायद रियलाइज नहीं हुआ. So presently he's chairperson of MDA Jaipur Management Development Academy, and this is a wonderful initiative that he has been heading since many years, contributing to learning and development all around. He's received several national and international awards and has lectured in countries like the US, UK, Germany, Malaysia, Thailand, Pakistan, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, South Africa, and he is really credited to have written some of the best books on time management, like Time Management for Happiness and Success, Art of Leadership, Gift of Happiness, Vijayi Vyaktitva, Shresht Vyavhar ki Shresht Kala, and Khushi ki Kala. So most popular these days is Professor Arora's YouTube channel, which focuses on so many different topics, right from positive thinking to leadership, self-confidence, and some of his offerings have received lakhs and lakhs of views and likes. So welcome, sir. And
thank you very much. Mithi Saab President, and Veena ji, Lamba Saab, Anil Mehta ji, everyone else, my students and my friends. The subject has been chosen by Veena ji, interpersonal relations, and she wanted to be tagged with emotional intelligence. So I just said, make it consistent positivity. Not constant positivity, but consistent positivity. We can't have really positivity all the time, but there has to be a balance between optimism and negativism, pessimism, positivity, negativity. All these go together. But today we are going to focus on something that how can we really develop a habit of remaining positive while dealing with people and with ourselves also. I have 12 points, but before that, there is an introduction. There are three important aspects of personality of every human being. I call them A, B, and C. A is the ability of a person, his competence, his work talent, his capacity to decide, solve problems, direct, financial administration, human relation management, everything that is ability. B is behavior. That is extremely important concerning friendship, tolerance, patience, congeniality, conviviality, trust, faith, help, support, consolation. And C is character. That is integrity, honesty, dedication, sincerity, selflessness. All the three are important, but the most important factor among these three is behavior. If there is no good behavior, then ability doesn't count. And if there is lack of positive behavior, even character doesn't count. But most important point is you can hide and conceal your ability. So that plagiarism is there. A person may write a book for you, they won't even know who wrote it, the real man or the ghost. Maybe in a particular seminar, you are reading a paper written by somebody else. Character also can be hidden because there are many people who are able to conceal their ethical standards. But behavior can never be hidden. It will always be manifest, transparent, coming out in the open, so visible, discernible. And therefore, behavior is significant. We're talking about behavior today, that is interpersonal relationship. Let me mention that when I talk about positivity and negativity, I must say that there are four types of attitudes or behavioral patterns. Number one, a person who is inside good is positive, is respectful to others, loves people, is friendly, is cordial, is sincere, and honest in relationship. And if he is outside also quite pleasant, affable, convivial, then certainly this will be called first model. That is, there is inner beauty of behavior, there is outer beauty of behavior. There are certain people who are very good inside, but are not able to express that goodness outside, and they are sometimes rough. That is also seen in many of the offices. The third type of people are those who are not good inside, but good outside. They are called hypocrites, but diplomats, or people who are politicians. And there are people who are inside and outside both bad. Very difficult indeed to name a few people. Adolf Hitler would be one, and Joseph Stalin would be another. There are certain people in human history who were really they were great tyrants. So we have to think in terms of not only being good outside, sweet, cordial, polite, decent, helpful, supportive, but we have also to be good inside and try to develop our inner self in a most positive manner. And that is significant. That's what we are going to focus on. And let me now start with the book, which is a classic in human relationship. And everyone knows about it, but there is a reason why I'm talking about that book. It was published for the first time in 1936 by Dale Carnegie. It became a bestseller and still is a bestseller. More than 3 crore copies of the book have been sold in 40 languages. And if you look at that book, you'll find that he tells us how to win friends and influence people. But most important point he mentions is that one should be a good human being. There should be humanism in behavior. We don't have to be really quite outwardly smart, try to hoodwink others. No, we should not have to camouflage our feelings. We should be so good internally that our outside smile is coming from inside. Our interest in people is manifest and quite transparent because of our inner interest in them. That we are people who have distinctive traits of kindness, generosity, compassion, empathy, all those various attributes that you are aware of. That's what Dale Carnegie said. Most of his ideas were taken from Christianity, but it is a religion-based psychology. It was a philosophy-based psychology. Psychology tells us why people behave as they do. Philosophy says, what should people do? Why, how should they behave? And so one is a should, and one is empirical, of course. That is how people behave as they do. It's very important that when Sigmund Freud came out with his psychoanalysis, followed by Alfred Adler and Carl Jung, basically this was a negative psychology, abnormal psychology, looking to the dark side of people. They talked about depression, they talk about depressive feelings, and they talk about jealousy, anger, and all other negative attributes of human nature. So it was in 1996 that something interesting happened. 1996 to 1998, Martin Seligman was a great scholar of psychology. He had a daughter of 5 years of age, and they were all the time fighting with each other. And once Martin Seligman convinced his daughter, oh, my daughter, you should be patient and calm. Don't be quarrelsome all the time. Try to change your nature. And the daughter said, okay, now you should also change your nature. The father assured that he will change his nature. So both of them assured each other that they will be changing their nature. They will be sweeter and certainly more decent in their behavior. But a few months passed. Martin Seligman did not change. And then daughter complained once, father, I changed, but you didn't. And he was really wonderstruck as to why he has not been able to bring about that change in his behavior. And he found out that he had a type of depression, which he was not even aware of, because he analyzed himself through psychoanalysis. And later he resolved that he will be a good father, a good human being, and he'll be nice, sweet, decent, and full of etiquettes. He was president of American Psychological Association. And in his presidential address, he gave the concept of positive psychology. The positive psychology is becoming very popular. For the first time in 2006, there was a course on positive psychology at Harvard University. It is continuing still, very popular now. And so the premises of positive psychology are hope, efficacy, resilience, optimism, goodness to the core, not only in thoughts and feelings, but also in behavior. And this positive relations with people should be manifest in terms of one's relationship with the work system, home, family, friends, even strangers. So in positive psychology, the main concepts that have been highlighted are empathy, patience, compassion, helpfulness, and love, friendship, cordiality, laughter, smiling, control of anger, anxiety, and trying to be a person who is in control of his emotions. That's what Goldman also says when he was able to understand his emotions. And but in emotional intelligence, again, there is great impact. There is a great impact on the studies of psychology, where Goldman says, try to understand your emotions and try to understand others' emotions. Positive psychology says not only you understand your emotions, but try to change your emotions, transform your emotions. Your feelings and thoughts, they are interconnected. And that is why the traditional psychology that was considered to be rather negative in its orientation is an antithesis of the contemporary stress and modern psychology, that is positive psychology. I'm now going to deal with 12 points one by one as to how to sustain our positivity in life. We are all good human beings to begin with. But you know, there is law of gravitation. A person falls to the ground, things fall to the ground. There's a phenomenon of gravitation. Very quickly, people really leave their goodness sometimes on small little pretexts or events or reactions of others, that you start believing that there is no advantage of being good to bad people. And we then categorize people into selfish, bad, slovenly, self-conscious, and one who is harmful. You have categories of people, good, bad, otherwise. And so we really always rationalize, okay, I'm doing good. That is not the proper way to live. Indian philosophy, all these various scriptures that you find in India, they tell us to be calmer, silent, more in control of one's emotions, positive, helpful, and like Gautam Buddha, like Lord Krishna, and all religions, as a matter of fact, whether Jainism or Islam, they all teach us something where a person has to be in control of himself or herself. First point is seeing good in yourself. Lord Buddha said, you can love others only when you love yourself. That is, we should have a positive self-image of ourselves, not a negative image. Grumbling all the time, mera jeevan kora kaagaz kora hi reh gaya, what have I done? I'm not fit to be really a wonderful person. My life has been a waste. I'm so dull. People have really become great. So my humble submission is, when you talk about seeing good in yourself, don't compare yourself with anybody. If you want to compare yourself with yourself only. And when you love yourself, you start respecting yourself. Count your blessings, count your qualities, and have that combination of various qualities ingrained into your total self-image. That is why when you give positive self-talk to yourself, you are good, you are fine, you are intelligent, you are successful, you are pleasant, you are helpful, you are selfless. These self-affirmations in the morning I give to myself, for example, they will always reconstruct my personality. And likewise, it's important that I think in terms of what we call auto-suggestion. Okay, don't be angry, don't worry about it, be happy, be tolerant, think of the good that has happened to you, forgive people. So affirmations as well as auto-suggestion, they really help us in converting an okay life into a good life. And the basic goal is being good. And when Anand was very much upset about Buddha's one behavior, Buddha used to criticize other religions. And he said, oh, Bhante, You criticize other religions all the time, but you don't tell us what is true religion. And Buddha replied, Anand, forget about the dogmas and theories of religion. Just be good and do good. That is religion. And that is the first point I wanted to make. Please, we should try to be good all the time. It's very difficult to be good, more difficult to remain good, especially because we find a vacillating atmosphere, a negative atmosphere, people who are not reciprocating to our goodness. And so we also deviate from our own path of goodness. My humble submission is we should not allow other people to guide our own thoughts and feelings. We should be so strong that others are not able to harm us. And we should be able to continue with our philosophy of goodness. That is my first point. The second important point is positive vision of others, positive eyes. That is, see good in others, good in everything. Shakespeare says in As You Like It, tongue in trees, books on the running brook, sermons in stones, and good in everything. Now, how can we see good in everything? He says, sermons in stones. Even stones are giving you a sermon. Remain rock-like. No Somani has been able to crack a rock. That is important. Remain strong. Likewise, rivers say it is flowing and it changes its course whenever there are certain obstacles on the way. And trees, for example, when there is a fall, they don't fall. The leaves go away, the greenery goes away, but they remain calm and they wait for spring once again to come. So Shakespeare says you learn from everything around you, and therefore we can learn from everyone also. There is nobody who has been created by God as to be totally bad. There are manufacturing defects in every human being. But remember one thing, there is nobody totally bad. And we should try to look at the good of every person. And the weaknesses of people are there. But why do we focus on them all the time? Positive psychology says you think of good of others, that goodness comes to you. Shri Ravi Shankarji once said an important point. If you look to the goodness of people, that goodness also gets transplanted into you. If you think of badness of people, their weaknesses, their blemishes, their foibles, their flaws, they enter your psyche. And therefore, these happy hormones will be created if you think about others in a positive manner. And that is very significant. So our relations with others will improve when we say, okay, other people also have a goodness inside. Touch that goodness. And if you touch that goodness, it really springs out and manifests itself. My duty is to not remind people of their weaknesses and flaws, but of their goodness. The third important point is very common, and I'm going to focus on that a bit more than usual. It is positive communication. What words do we use? Be very cautious. Pehle tolo, fir bolo, they say. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the greatest example of that. He always talked slowly with gaps in his words and sentences. And you can never blame him for saying something wrong, which somebody has to really repent later on. You know of Calvin Coolidge, the American president. He died in harness. He could not complete his term of 2 years. That is, he completed a term of 4 years earlier, but not the second term, of course. He died in harness. And he spoke very little. For example, let me tell you, one Sunday he came after attending church home. He came home and the wife asked, "Where did you go?" He said, "Church." Only one word. He never said, "I went to church." As you know it, I go to church every Sunday. No, he would not say that. "Where did you go?" Wife asked. He says, "Church." What did the priests talk about? Sin. One word. But what did he say after all? The wife insisted on getting the explanation of what the plaintiff said. And he said, "Don't." That is, don't sin. Somebody asked him a question, said, why are you laconic that you speak so little? And his answer was magnificent. He said, I have never repented the words that I never spoke. People repent the words that they speak sometimes. But I'm very, very cautious in using words. And I'm very happy that I don't have regrets about the words that I've spoken. There's the greatest need today in India, especially, is the art of listening. We always interject, we always cut people during the conversation and interject in such a manner, intervene in a manner and which breaks the overall rhythm of other person's ideas and thoughts. And we don't listen to him. We just pose as if we are listening to him. And that is something very quite exotic in human relationship. We should listen. Our body language also should be positive. Not that we are standing arrogantly and looking at staring as a person or a woman, or trying to look at a subordinate with condescending thought, or that we are showing something which perhaps is unknown to others. It's a mystery. What are you trying to say? So we have to be cheerful. We have to be friendly. We have to be smiling. That is positive communication. I would like to mention in this context, a subject of my greatest interest, that is art of praise and science of criticism. In the book Shreshtha Vyavahar Ki Shreshtha Kala, which Anilji has read, I have 2 chapters on this topic. That is Prasannata ki Kala aur Alochana ka Vigyan, art of praise and science of criticism. There are 28 points. I have now increased those points to 34. But I would like to mention that we should know the art of praise and the art of criticism. Both are important. Praise also helps a person in improving his personality and is a very important tool of motivation. And criticism also is something that really makes a person aware of a weakness that he has, and then he changes the course of his behavior. It's very significant. There was a very significant idea of Skinner, famous psychologist, and he said there is something like reinforcement impact. And he used to say, catch people doing something right. Most of the time we catch people doing something wrong. He said, catch people doing something right. They will be reinforcing that particular idea which they really get praise for. And therefore it's significant that we use praise as a tool of motivation and solace. And we should be objective, of course, while making praises, but I would like to mention 5 to 6 important points. Number 1, that whenever you are in doubt whether to praise or not to praise a person, please praise. When you are in doubt whether to criticize or not to criticize a person, please don't. I'd seen in 2005 a picture, Black. Black is a story of Helen Keller, with Amitabh Bachchan being her guide. And that was not the real story. Helen Keller had a female guide, of course, and mentor. But Rani Mukherjee was the actress, and her acting was absolutely unsurpassable. She was superior to Amitabh Bachchan in acting, and I liked the whole picture very much. It was after the movie I'd seen in 2005. It was just in 2006 I was traveling from Delhi to Chandigarh. Indian Airlines flight. I was in economy class, and I find, my God, this voice seems to be quite, sound seems to be quite familiar. Oh my God, I saw Rani Mukherjee sitting in the first class, that is, in the special class, executive class. So I was happy seeing her. As I landed at Chandigarh, and I was having only a briefcase, and I was also in the almost from the front seat of the economy class. As I was moving out, I found that at the belt, conveyor belt, Rani Mukherjee was standing alone, because she had to, come down first, of course. And so I thought, let me tell her how beautiful she acted in Black. Immediately, a voice came from within. अरे भाई तुम्हें क्या मतलब है, you are not Akshay Kumar or Ajay Devgan. Why will she give credit to your appreciation? Forget it. But every person has 2 personalities, and these 2 personalities are having a dialogue with each other. So my positive self said, nine, whether she knows or you're not, go ahead and tell her she's a wonderful actress. So I suppressed my negative personality and went to her and said, ma'am, I recently watched your picture, the Black, of course, and you were fabulous in acting. You are very powerful in that picture. Congratulations. We admire you. She said, okay, very good. Thank you very much. May I know who you are? I said, I'm a professor from Jaipur. And she said, thank you very much. She didn't ask my name. No need to. Even if she had asked my name, she would have forgotten. But I've not been able to forget her. I mean, that small little interaction I had with her for 3.5 minutes or so, I felt that Shishi Ravi Shankarji is correct. You praise a person and there is a happy hormone created within you. Number 1. So I said, whenever there is a doubt whether to praise or not to praise a person, please praise. If you have a doubt whether to criticize or not to criticize, please don't. Okay. Give reasons while criticizing, give reasons while praising. Praising should be for not more than 1 minute and criticism for not more than half a minute. Praise loudly, criticize softly. Praise warmly, criticize coolly. Praise in the presence of others, criticize only when a person is alone. Praise the person as well as his contribution, criticize only the contribution and forget about his name. Let me give you an example. Suppose there is a painting, beautiful, I can see horses, and these horses are running and they are quite strong. And I say, my God, what a wonderful painting. I feel very strong, invigorated after watching all these horses running. Must be Archana who has painted this. Name of Archana was written. So it was not a mystery. But there is another painting on the left, and the horses were there. But it was darkness in the background, and the horses were dark, either black or blue. So there was no contrast between the background and the horses' color. And so I said, well, little bit of either the horses should have been of lighter color or the background should have been of lighter color. I knew it was Archana written there. I didn't name Archana, because we don't have to criticize a person, only the content. Archana knows what criticism I made, but you don't have to really flaunt her name to make her feel bad about it. So there are 24 points, 26 points, but I'm not going to talk about them, but I only say, please praise from your heart. Criticize through your mind. Imagining as to what is going to be the impact of your criticism on the person who is listening to the criticism. Be very cautious. Praise 5 people in a day minimum, and criticize at the most 1 person in a day. And there should be 1 holiday of criticism. You decide which day, but don't announce in the beginning and in advance. Otherwise, people will take advantage of you. Tomorrow is my criticism-free day, so your subordinates can take an advantage. Your children too can take advantage. But what I'm suggesting is that let us increase the number of appreciations we make during a day. It's very important. And I had a friend of mine in USA while I was teaching there for some time. And I went to meet him in New York. We did together our PhD in USA. So I went to meet him after 15 years. 15 years I met him. And he was glowing and he was so handsome and wonderful. So I asked him, what's the reason that your aging is not having an impact on you? You know, he told me, Ramesh, I don't talk about the reason, but I can tell you because you're one of my best friends. But I've never told you this, what I've been doing, which has given me a great fillip of positivity in my life. In the morning itself, I keep 10 coins in my right pocket. Could be dollar, could be pound, any penny, nothing, doesn't matter. And in the morning itself, when I have tea with my wife, I'll certainly praise my wife in one form or the other. Oh, you look very fresh today. Or tea is wonderful, the herbal tea. You were really good in that. Sometimes I wonder how you have been able to manage the whole household so well. So one reason I'll find to praise my wife. And then my daughter is going and she is wearing today a yellow dress. I'll say, oh, my daughter, my Jane, you look like a fairy in this yellow dress. And she says, thank you, Papa. So like that, I continue. So I've done 2. So 1 coin I will take from right pocket and put in the left pocket when I praise my wife. Quietly, she won't know that. And then I praise my daughter, and 2nd coin goes to my left pocket. So I have 8 coins more during the day to be used for praise. It could be my boss, my driver, my subordinate, my PA, my friend. I won't repeat praise for my wife and daughter. I could talk to my mother and say, Mommy, my mother, who is in different, she lives in Texas, and say, Mom, I was only thinking of you, that how you disciplined me in childhood, and that is really giving me tremendous amount of continuity of a balanced life. 10. He said that, so every day, if 10 praises are certainly manifested or given or transplanted in the minds of people, not just transmitted, I feel very happy. In the whole year, I articulate 4,000 praises. And every praise creates a happy hormone in me. You know one thing? I've read your philosophy, he said. I've got a moksha, deliverance, liberation. Moksha is something where I feel my life has been very meaningful. So for 10 years, I've been doing that. And so 4,000. I said, how 4,000? It should be 3,650 only. He said, no, sometimes there is spillover. So how do you then take, there are only 10 coins, I asked him, then how can you have 12 praises? Oh, I have overdraft from left pocket to right pocket, he said. I said, if you have only 9 praises made during the day, what will you do for the 10th? I'll say, oh God, you're great. I'm so grateful to you. So 10th praise I'll make for my God. And that gives me tremendous amount of meaningfulness in my life. I feel that I've really created 40,000 smiles. And the only purpose of life is to create smiles on the faces of people and to wipe the tears of people. And that has really helped me a great deal. And I don't criticize people. I just smile when I see some weakness, try to help them. But that is why I'm coming to fourth point. There is acceptance. Accept that all people are not good. Accept that all times are not good. Accept that all relations are not good. Accept that all children are not good. Accept that your wife who is good can also be sometimes quite moody and whimsical. Or husband can be. Children can be. I generally tell people not to argue with the three people in life. First, your boss. You will always lose unnecessarily if you really have a quarrel with him. He can hurt you. Number 2, your wife. Never quarrel with her. Never argue with her because you will lose. Third is your grown-up children. You will always lose before them. If you have an argument, try to prove that you're right. So my humble submission is, as Marcus Aurelius, a famous Roman emperor, said, the most important point in his book, The Meditations, he says, let us accept the reality. Let us accept things as they are, as they unfold, as the reality unfolds. Don't try to compare the reality with the wishes that you have. That will only hurt you a great deal. And therefore, parents, siblings, son, daughter, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, you cannot control your daughter-in-law or son-in-law. They will not give you the same love that your daughter and son give you. Why? Because they have not been habituated. They are not in a habit of knowing you well. 20, 25, 20, 30 years later, but then they also are very good. And so your own children can sometimes be little deviating from the norms of respect. And please don't mind it. Love them still. And because the real love is acceptance of the other person. And therefore is significant, as Marcus Aurelius says, instead of trying to distinguish between people who become your yes people, yes men, and don't think that those who don't agree with you are in any way your hostile people. No, they are not. So in that concern, the fourth point I would like to mention that we should have tolerance. Now, tolerance is something which is like condescending. Oh, I have tolerated all what you have done to me. If Bahu says, I've tolerated so much humiliation sometimes from my mother-in-law, that tolerance is like a negative word. I don't like that. I like acceptance and empathy. Empathy is trying to understand what other person feels and feeling what other person feels. That is understanding the reason why he behaved particularly, thought particularly. I'll give you an example. Example of a very famous American writer, Mark Twain. I got a video on that also. Mark Twain wrote the book, as you know, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, Adventures of Tom Sawyer. He was a great essayist also. And he had 4 children, but I'm talking only about the first child. Let's remember that it's not exactly the name that I'm telling you. Let us call her Jane. But it's a true story, what I'm telling you. Now, Jane was 4-year-old. Every time, when the evening when Mark Twain will come home, she will hug her father. The wife will say, like, have a cup of tea. It was a wonderful family of 3 people. And the life of the whole house was certainly Jane, the 4-year-old girl. She was to be 4 year. I mean, she was at that time having a few days more before she could celebrate her 4th birthday. So she was not totally 4. In America, before your 4th birthday, you call yourself 3. So she would be 3 just a day before the birthday. But she was 4, I am just telling you from Indian idiom. So Mark Twain used to come in the evening. Once he came home, but Jane did not hug him. He just came and clung to his right leg and started crying. He said, "What's the matter, Jane? What's the matter, Jane?" Suddenly, Mark Twain's wife intervened and said, "I'll tell you what happened. Why is she crying unnecessarily?" "What's the matter?" Mark Twain asked his wife. "You know, she has a doll. She calls her Nancy, Nancy. It's made of plastic. See, the plastic doll was lying on the floor, and I just shifted the sofa a bit. And during that shifting, her doll, the plastic doll, her leg got cut, smashed as a matter of fact. It was a plastic doll. No fault of mine. I was only doing the household work of shifting and moving the sofa. Since then, she has been crying that her doll, that is Nancy's, you won't call her doll, she'll call Nancy. Nancy's leg has broken. Let us get her leg plastered. Let's go to hospital, ma'am. Mommy, let's go to hospital. Call father on phone if possible. And so I'm only wondering what she's up to. Mark Twain said, "Jane, you should not really feel bad about small things of life. She's a doll, we get you a new one, no problem." Jane was expecting something different from her father, that he will really console her, give her solace, give her support, and feel. So she took her doll. It was clinging to herself, of course, near her chest. She did not get any positive response from her parents. Went to her room, closed from inside, and started crying with her doll in the lap. It was very difficult, with great difficulty, that 2 hours later, the maid of the house could get the room open and give her food, which perhaps he did not eat. So 2 days passed in this whole system. And remember, Jane did not talk to her parents for 2 days. And parents were aghast. They were surprised, flabbergasted. What to do? This was the 3rd day. 48 hours had passed. Mark Twain came home. He had resolved that he will resolve the problem. And so he called Jane. "Jane, come and sit on my lap. I know you're angry, but tell me, why are you angry? I listened to you. That day I just told you what I thought. Today I will not talk at all. You do the talking." Jane said, "No, Dad, it's okay." Father tried. Jane did not agree. No, father used a wonderful plan. And he said, "Okay, Jane, I know you're angry with me. But if at all your dad has loved you and you have loved your dad in return, then come, day before yesterday, forget about what happened 3 days ago, 2 days ago. But if you think I loved you and you loved me, then come and sit on my lap." And there was no way out for Jane. She came and sat on the lap of her father, but grudgingly only, unwillingly. And now the thing starts. Say what you want to say. "I don't want to say anything, Dad, but I want to ask one thing. You told me, Dad, day before yesterday, that I should not cry over small matters. Daddy, my daughter, Nancy, she is injured. Her leg is broken. Is it a small matter? She has not taken milk for 2 days. I've not taken food for 2 days properly. Is it a small matter? She's my daughter. Don't you know that you're like her grandfather, and you're so much absolutely indifferent to her pain and my pain? Is it a small matter? Then tell me, Daddy, what is the big matter? My God, speechless, Mark Twain. I'm sorry. Let's go to the hospital. 4 of them went to hospital. Mark Twain, his wife, Jane, and Nancy. Now Nancy had become a living being suddenly. There was plaster on her leg. She came home. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. Mark Twain wrote in his diary before going to bed. That is what I wanted to tell you. He said this whole episode of alienation of my daughter, Jane, from her parents is quite something which is revealing. We should see the world of children from their eyes. We didn't know that Nancy was we thought Nancy was a doll, plastic doll. But Nancy was my daughter's daughter. We did not really look at Nancy from that angle. We should look at the reality of children's world from their eyes. That is called empathy. Point number 5. And that was a longer point, don't worry. I'll complete on time. Sympathy, compassion, kindness, generosity are very important. The divine qualities. You know what is common among Krishna, Ram, Buddha, Mahavir, Muhammad Sahib, Jesus, Moses, and Guru Nanak? Compassion. It's compassion that is divine. The difference between man and God is, one, that there is abundant compassion in all divine forces and rather restricted compassion among men. Art of giving. Giving is living. And that is why I'm reminded of his quotation by Swami Vivekananda. He said, when someone comes to you to ask for something, when someone comes to you for ask for some favor, thank him, because he has come to make your life more meaningful. That is giving. There are many good books on giving these days, and we have people like Ratan Tata. I mean, he's no more, but his memory will live all the time. Azim Premji and Narayan Murthy, and many, many good saints also. Of even there's a saint of Surat. And I know of some people who really know the art of giving, and Mr. D.R. Mehta, our Mahavir Viklang Sahayata Samiti chief. I mean, they know, they give themselves totally to the welfare and happiness of others. And that is very important. They say Paropkar. And I have a very senior friend of mine, Dr. J.C. Cookard, is no more in this world, in OTS. And he said, Ramesh, Paropkar kya hota hai? Par koi hai nahi. Swavistar kaho, swavistar, expand yourself. The smallest man talks only of himself. The little better man talks about his family. A little better person talks about his extended family, friendship, community, society, nation, and universe. Vivekananda talks of universe. Mother Teresa talks of universe. My humble submission is that the expansion of the self, and if you think in terms of the art of giving, Ford Foundation and Rockefeller Foundation, both, they were his creations. Please read that, you'll know about it. 6th important point in my presentation is humility. And it's very, very important. He was going in a buggy. There was no car at that time, as you know, in 1863. And he saw that a man was there waiting for him, went before that man. And before that man, Lincoln bowed down once, and twice, and the 3rd time, and the 4th time too. The secretary in the buggy asked, sir, you are the president of USA, and he's a common man. Was there need for you to bow down before him for 4 times? He did it thrice, of course. It was his duty, but not your duty to respond in that manner. You know what Lincoln said? Should I be defeated in etiquette and decency by a common man? No. I won't like to be defeated by anyone in goodness, in affability, in cordiality, in decency. That is something we have to have in life. No ego. One who has ego certainly is a person who hurts others a great deal. What I want to tell you is, Lal Bahadur Shastri and Lincoln are 2 of my favorites. And a person who was a tremendously great man, Sardar Patel. Amazing. And my fourth choice is Benjamin Franklin. 2 Americans, 2 Indians, whom I find to be people who were the paragons of humility. Would you believe it that Benjamin Franklin, after his fight with his brother on some pretext, came out and never then in his whole life went back home, but he once again rebuilt his relationship later. Never criticized a person in his life. Benjamin Franklin, after the age of 17, never criticized anyone in life. Saint Augustine could never criticize a person. Lal Bahadur never criticized a person. Lincoln never criticized a person. Amazing, isn't that? It's amazing as a matter of fact. And I wanted to find faults with them. No, you can't. You can't. And they're amazing people. So sometimes I give an example. Once I was talking to IGNOU, Jaipur Center, Rajasthan Center, and I talked about Lord Ram and his quality. I said, the greatest, sir, what can we learn from Ram? A person asked. I said, how to deal with subordinates and juniors. Learn from Ram. His relationship with his 3 brothers, with Hanuman, with Sugriv, with Angad, with Shabri, with Nishadraj, with Kevat, with anyone for that matter. And he knew how to talk with people, how to respect them. Agreed, it applies to many others, but my humble submission is that learn that from Krishna, from Ram. So there was a professor. He said, sir, kalpana hai sir Ram, to sab real tha hi nahi. I asked him a thing. Okay, you are right. अच्छा एक बात बताइए, आपके फादर का नाम क्या है? उनका मेरे फादर का नाम ये है. मैंने कहा आपके दादाजी का नाम बता दिया. मैंने कहा कि परदादाजी का नाम बताइए. परदादाजी का सब याद नहीं है. परदादाजी थे कि नहीं थे आपके? मैं क्यों नहीं होंगे, सब होंगे ही. अच्छा परदादाजी प्रूव करो कि आपके पास परदादाजी थे. आपने कहा ना राम का प्रूफ कोई नहीं है, तो बताइए परदादाजी थे क्या, इसका प्रूफ दे दीजिए. कोई भी चीज, कोई चिट्ठी उनकी, कोई नोटबुक, कोई अकाउंट, कोई डायरी, कोई डिग्री, कोई कपड़े, नहीं सब कुछ नहीं है. तो मैंने कहा प्रूव ही नहीं कर सकते दादाजी थे, आपके परदादाजी थे, और आप कह रहे हैं राम का प्रूव करेंगे, राम थे कि नहीं थे. अच्छा एक बात बताइए, आइडिया कैसा है राम का, विचार कैसा है, कैसा, वो तो सुंदर है. मैं यही मानकर चलो. So humility you have to learn from people, and etiquettes too. 7th important point is a happy disposition. Happy disposition is remaining cheerful and smiling. I am reminded of a person whose name was Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was an American scholar. And I tell you something which is most interesting. He has written an essay on resilience, which is considered the best essay ever written in English language, resilience. And I'm searching for it. I'm not able to get it, because I believe in resilience as a very important trait of a person who is strong. But I'm talking about Ralph Waldo Emerson, and he was living in a house which was adjacent to a forest. He believed in nature. And see, there were 2 companions, Henry David Thoreau, author of Walden, and Ralph Waldo Emerson. They used to go for walking in the forest together. But I'm talking about Emerson. What I'm telling you now is a real story. In the morning, he will wake up and say, God, thank you very much for giving me one more day. I shall enjoy the company of the sun and its rays, and the moon and its glory, and the greenery and the breeze coming from the sea and ocean, touching my heart. I shall enjoy the company of men, women, children, animals, birds, everyone. Thank you very much. That was the beginning of the day. Throughout his day, he would have a smile on his face. Reading newspaper with a smile. Eating, smile. Talking, smile. Walking, smile. Sleeping, smile. Looks unbelievable, no? There was a birthday of Mr. Emerson, and a journalist came to interview him. And he asked a question to Mr. Emerson, sir, what is your age? Mr. Emerson said, my age, 360 years. Sir, you look to be only 60. Yes, physically I am 60. But I've enjoyed so much of life. I've got so much of happiness in my life, which people will get in 6 births. What is our age of happiness? What is we have a physical age, and we are very proud of saying, "अरे तुम तो 5 साल छोटी लगती हो," and the girl कहते मेरा दिन बना दिया तुमने, you made my day. Physical age should not be less than the age of happiness, but it is normally. It is normally. So a cheerful person is a person who wins friends, influences people. The laughter, the humor that really goes a long, long, distance to create among people a sense of contentment, happiness, excitement, exaltation, ecstasy, joy, delight, beautiful happiness inside as soon as you meet a very pleasant person. Eighth point is sustainable positivity. Now, the word sustainable means that which can continue. Therefore, please inquire about the wellness of people who are your friends and relatives regularly. Help people who need you time to time. Wish their birthdays and marriage anniversaries. And visit them from time to time. Invite them from time to time. Give them gifts, maybe a flower, maybe a bouquet, maybe a book. I like a book more than a bouquet, of course. And a phone in the morning, maybe once a month or once a week, and just send a message on the WhatsApp. And most important point I want to mention is write a letter. You will never forget that letter. Only day before yesterday, I opened my almirah and looked at my old bunch of old letters. I was studying in USA so many years ago, 5 decades ago, and my mother wrote a beautiful letter to me. And I picked up that letter and read it. बेटे अपना ख्याल रखना, परेशान मत होना, माना कि तुम्हें छुट्टी में दिक्कत हो रही है यूनिवर्सिटी में, और बेटे तुम तो पीएचडी करके ही आना, नौकरियां मिलती रहेंगी, और फिर हम है ना, तो पापा कोशिश कर रहे हैं बेटे, तुम्हें रोज याद करती हूँ, तुम आओगे तो मैं आलू का पराठा खिलाऊंगी. मेरी आंखों में तो आंसू आ गए. राइट अ लेटर टू समबडी whom you love. Ignore small mistakes of people. यार क्या है, कर दिया तो क्या हुआ. एक बार क्लास में पढ़ा रहा था एमए में, तो मेरी एक स्टूडेंट ने पूछा, सर आप बड़ी मजेदार स्टूडेंट थी. शी इज ए लेक्चरर नाउ, वेरी बिग पर्सन टुडे, मोर देन दैट प्रोफेसर है. तो उसने कहा, सर आप पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पढ़ाते हैं और साथ में आप फिलॉसफी भी झाड़ते रहते हैं. आई लाइक द वर्ड झाड़ते रहते हैं. He said, एक बात बताइए सर, छोटा आदमी कौन, बड़ा आदमी कौन. आई सेड, छोटा आदमी वो जो छोटी छोटी बातों से परेशान होता हो और छोटी छोटी बातों से परेशान करता हो. तो सर बड़ा आदमी वो जो बड़ी बातों से परेशान होता हो. मैं कहना नहीं, बड़ा आदमी वो छोटी बातों से खुश होता हो. एक फूल के खिलने से, एक अच्छे व्हाट्सएप मैसेज से, एक अच्छे कॉल से, एक अच्छी किताब से, एक कोटेशन से, एक धर्म की किताब से, एक अच्छे एक अच्छी मूवी से भी, और कुछ भी. सो माय humble submission is, let's have sustainable positivity. Every person is a ledger account. Let me say, suppose I have a son, and son has done so much to me, brought happiness with him, and he has been very, 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 very nice to me, and I loved him a great deal. And today he said, Papa, आप उपदेश मत दिया करो ज्यादा, आप इंटरफियर मत करो, मैं शेयर लूं कि ना लूं, या कैसे मैं आपके अपने बेटे के साथ व्यवहार करूं, आपका ग्रैंडसन होगा, आप मुझ पर रहने दो. I feel bad, my God, have I become so irrelevant? No. आज नाराज है ना मेरा बेटा. समन तोड़े जाते हैं क्या? भगवान के बनाए समन कोई भी तोड़े नहीं जाते. I look at, just imagine my son's ledger account. He has given me 1 million happinesses. Today he has taken away 1,000 of happinesses. Still his credit balance remains. Why should I break my relations with anyone for that matter? I'm telling you honestly, please believe me, I've tried to evolve as a person over all these years. I have no hatred for anyone and no grudge against anyone. Primarily because in the last 4 years, particularly since I started making these videos, I had to read a lot for every video. And every video when I make, it touches me. यार तू वीडियो बनाने का तब तो ये हिम्मत वो है जो पहले इस चीज को अपनी जिंदगी में उतार. Unless you ingrain that idea in your mind, how can you tell people कि अच्छे बने रहो, good बने रहो, ये बने रहो? And that is, so ninth point is gratitude and thankfulness. Only the greatest are grateful. Only the great people are grateful. That's one of my sentences on Dhanyavad video. My humble summation is, I tell you, this world is full of people who are not grateful. I have come to this conclusion. Only the 5% people are really grateful. 5% are partially grateful. And 90% are not grateful. I won't call them ungrateful. But yes, some of them are ungrateful. They can hurt you. They can hurt you even if you're good to them. Leave them to their destiny. Unki kya parwah karni hai? Don't worry about that. And I tell you something, a story from Bible, from the Saint Luke portion of the New Testament. You know, Lord Jesus had certain herbs he could cure lepers. कोड़ियों को ठीक कर सकते थे. एक बार 10 कोड़ी आए. उन्होंने हर्ब लगाई एक कोड़ी को. अब दूसरा आया, फिर तीसरा, फिर चौथा, फिर पांचवा, फिर छठा, फिर सातवां, फिर आठवां में नवां, सबको ठीक कर दिया. अब 10वें को ठीक कर रहे थे. मन में संतोष, अगाध संतोष का भाव था. आनंद की एक प्रतिमा थी जीसस क्राइस्ट. बड़े संतोष के भाव से उन्होंने पीछे मुड़कर उन 9 कोड़ियों की ओर देखा जिनको वो ठीक कर चुके थे. अरे ये क्या, सबके सब जा चुके थे बिना धन्यवाद कहे हुए. Did he stop curing the 10th one? No. He smiled and continued curing the 10th one. Just smile. 10th is forgiveness. A very, very important attribute. मैं भूल नहीं सकता, मैं बदला लेके रहूंगा. एक तो अमिताभ बच्चन ने इतना नुकसान किया है हमारे इस मामले में. सलीम जावेद और अमिताभ बच्चन ने, प्रकाश मेहरा वगैरह ने. Uma Vasudev died recently. She was on the editorial board of Indian Express. Would you believe it? You know, Amitabh Bachchan's first movie, which was a hit, was Janjeer in 1973. Then 1974, 1975, Diwar 74, 75, Sholay. And you know one thing? So 15 years, 75, 25 years, or 24, 14 and 50 years ago. Okay? About 45 years ago, Uma Vasudev wrote an article in Sunday Standard. That was Sunday Indian Express. He said Amitabh Bachchan has done a great harm to the Indian psyche and ecosystem. He has really valued so much on violence through vengeance. बदले की भाव, सारी पिक्चर बदले पर हैं. मैं नहीं फेंकता, मैं पैसे नहीं उठाता, मैं बदला लूंगा. कभी संजीव कुमार से ले रहा है तो कभी किसी से ले रहा है. सारे कंट्री वाले अमिताभ बच्चन की सारी सुंदर नशीली एक्टिंग पर फिदा और खुद भी वैसे बन गए. वो बदले की भावना, माय गॉड, jealousies, comparisons, wealth, money, materialism, growth, progress. All this is very hurt. Now he's a good man, much better man. So I love present Amitabh Bachchan. In fact, he's my icon. He's my ideal these days. But why should he have done all that? Salim Javed, I mean, what did they do? I think ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी जैसे लोग होने चाहिए जो अच्छाई पर बल दे. आनंद जैसी मूवी बनाई उन्होंने. I mean, एक से एक बढ़िया मूवी, हंसाई भी, हंसी की मूवी भी हैं, तो सब कुछ है. I mean, we should really have a responsibility. The artists must have a responsibility. The authors must have a responsibility. Teachers must have a responsibility. Doctors must have a responsibility. Media people must have a responsibility. Trainers must have a responsibility towards the society. I would say forgiveness. It is a great, I've made, and I'm telling you something. अभी आप लाखों की बात कर रही थी ना रीना जी. मेरे कई ऐसे वीडियो हैं जो एक वीडियो 1000 पर भी नहीं आया. तो आई एम नॉट रियली पर्टिकुलर अबाउट इट. मेरे चैनल है. एक मेरा चैनल छोटा चैनल है, बच्चा वाला चैनल है. एक मेरा चैनल उत्कर्ष के साथ है. तो मैं पैसे नहीं लेता, सब डोनेशन में जाता है. उत्कर्ष कर देते हैं. तो लाखों की. अभी मेरा एक वीडियो था बातचीत की कला, एंड इट वेंट टू 8.6 lakhs. आई वाज अमेज्ड, यार ऐसी क्या बात हो गई. अम्बेडकर का था 7 lakhs पे आ गया. ओके, व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग यू समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. आई हैव अ वीडियो ऑन क्षमा, दैट इज फॉरगिवनेस. उन्होंने क्या किया, उस वीडियो को फेसबुक पे डाल दिया. अब वापस डालने लगे हैं फेसबुक पे. एंड आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड. माय सन सेंट स्नैपशॉट फ्रॉम फेसबुक. पापा आपका ये वीडियो 79 lakhs हो चुका है. मैंने क्या कह रहे हो? तो मैंने कंफर्म किया उत्कर्ष से कि साहब बिल्कुल हो गया 70, अब तो क्रॉस कर गया, 80-85 हो गया. मैंने कहा एक कहते हैं इसके ना तो पैसे मिलते हैं ना कुछ मिलते हैं उत्कर्ष को, परंतु आप ध्यान रखिएगा कि मैंने कहा इट मीन्स पीपल वांट टू फॉरगिव. I read a book, Forgive and Forget, long time ago when I was in USA second time. And I read that book on Friday and Saturday, and I could not remain quiet on Sunday. क्या किताब पढ़ ली मैंने? First chapter, forgive your friends because they have been nice to you in childhood and youth. They have been your supporters. What if they make mistakes? Forgive them. Forgive your enemies. They are the people who have always made you very cautious about your behavior, talks, and feelings. After all, their contribution they have made in your life because they made you wiser. Forgive them. Bosses, forgive them because they are all the time under stress. After all, look at their responsibilities. Forgive them and have empathy for them. Forgive your colleagues because they will be jealous of you if you are really progressing well. Doesn't matter. They are human beings. Forgive your subordinates because they are not as responsible as you are. To continue, and forgive them. Forgive your siblings because they always compare you with themselves. You have played together. I mean, look at the happiness that your friends, children of your own parents, who are like your brothers and sisters, and they have given to you. Forgive them. Then there were 3 chapters, difficult chapters. Forgive your parents because they have been very nice. They have brought you to this world. And they also say something which is harsh. They compare you with your elder brother who became an IAS officer and you couldn't become one. So it doesn't matter after all. They are parents. Look at the contribution they made to your life. Next chapter, forgive yourself. Don't carry the burden of your guilt on your head for long. You have made mistakes, forgive yourself. And last chapter was earth-shattering. Forgive God. If you're unhappy with God, that he has not been nice to you, forgive him. Maybe he makes mistakes. Maybe what you are blaming him for is the result of your karma. Forgive him. I made that video on Kshama on the basis of this book also, although I started with Mahabharata. And I thought, my God, क्या करना है नाराज होकर के? I'm researching on a topic, narazgi, and let us see what happens. I say that whatever narazgi you have, there should be a time limit. For example, there is expiry date for every medicine, every eatable. There should be expiry date for all narazgi. Misunderstandings, and I come to that. 11th, but that is the last but one point. Mitigate negativity in life. Avoid conflicts. Be strong. If you have to fight, necessary for the country, society, family, goodness, honesty, truth. Fight for them. Resolve conflicts quickly. Clear misunderstandings. Erase old memories. मेरे साथ ये हुआ था, मेरी सास ने ये कहा था. मर्डर भी हो जाए और थोड़ा बहुत डाउट भी हो तो जज पूरे जिंदगी भर की जो देते हैं ना, लाइफ टर्म, पूरी जिंदगी 14 साल का होता है, तो 14 साल से ज्यादा कोई नाराजगी होनी नहीं चाहिए. लोग तो चलते रहते हैं, ओ मुझे कहा था, मैं भूल नहीं सकता तुमने मेरा इंसल्ट की थी तो ठीक. That man has changed, he made a mistake, you will punish him for all the time. No, please don't. Conquer your anger, jealousies, ego. And look, Steve Jobs of Apple, when he used to move in his lift or elevator, no person dared to enter that elevator, didn't want to enter. And Steve Jobs will not say, come, don't come. Nobody will like to talk to him. He was so, I would say, rough with his subordinates, unfortunately. And don't have that ego. And old memories should really be conquered, finished. Raat gayi aur baat gayi, usi din chodo. And please try to synthesize positive with negativity. And as I close in a few minutes, I am reminded of a beautiful story, little story on ego. एक आश्रम था और आश्रम में एक गुरु थे और कई चेले थे. प्रगति कर रहे थे सभी आध्यात्मिक दृष्टि से और उनके मन में निश्चित रूप से आध्यात्मिक विकास के लिए बहुत अधिक पिपासा थी. एक दिन सवेरे गुरुजी, नदी के किनारे था ये आश्रम, नदी के पास आए और देखा उनका एक शिष्य सामने से नदी के उस पार से पानी पर चलते हुए आ रहा है. माय गॉड, वंडरस्ट्रक, फ्लैबरगास्टेड. गुरु ने कहा पानी पर चल रहा है. जब शिष्य आ गया यहाँ, अरे बेटे तुम एक बात बताओ, तुम पानी पर चल के आ रहे हो, ये जादू तुमने कहाँ से सीखा? कि जादू नहीं गुरुदेव, फिर क्या करते हो, कौन सा मंत्र बोलते हो? कहते मैं मंत्र नहीं बोलता गुरुदेव, मैं सिर्फ आपका नाम बोलता हूँ और पानी पर चढ़ के पूरा तैयार होके वहां चला जाता हूँ, तैरने की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती। गुरुदेव ने कहा सच कह रहे हो? कि हाँ गुरुदेव, मैं सच ही कहूंगा ना, आप तो हमारे लिए आराध्य हैं। गुरु जी को चैन ही नहीं मालूम पड़ा, अरे मेरे नाम से इतना अधिक शक्ति है उसके पास। गुरु जी उस दिन सवेरे 3 बजे उठ गए, उनको तैरना नहीं आता था, अपना नाम बोला, मैं, और तीसरे कदम पर गुरुदेव लुप्त हो गए। गुरु को, शिष्य को नया गुरु ढूंढना पड़ा। ये है मैं का चमत्कार। लास्ट पॉइंट इज एथिक्स ऑफ बिहेवियर। वी शुड बी ट्रू टू आवरसेल्व्स, ऑनेस्टी इन रिलेशनशिप, ऑथेंटिसिटी, फर्जीवाड़ा नहीं होना चाहिए, ट्रस्टिंग, ट्रस्ट पीपल एंड ऑनर देयर ट्रस्ट। कोई बात मन की कही, किसी को कहते मत फिरो यार। एंड दुश्मन भी बन गया तो उसके सीक्रेट बाहर नहीं जाने चाहिए। If you give an assurance to somebody or a promise, please fulfill it. Respect others. Even punctuality is important. And that is my last point. In the end, I would like to say we should continuously analyze ourselves. Think what makes me happy, what makes me successful, what makes me sad, what do I like in other person, why do I like Veena Arora, why I think Veena Arora is like my daughter or her husband is like my son, why do I think like that, what is good about them. I haven't met Rajvi, but I would love to meet because she must be having the qualities of both of them. So I question myself why I am what I am. And so inner beauty of mind should be really continuously increased. And my humble submission is that we should always introspect. Lord George Bernard Shaw was asked a question a long time ago, what's the difference between an ordinary person and a great person? He said 15 minutes. A great person gives to himself 15 minutes a day for introspection, reflection, मनन, मंथन, आत्मवलोकन के लिए वो 5 मिनट नहीं 10 मिनट देता है कई बार, और तब महानता पैदा होती है। I'm indeed grateful to all the people sitting today, 32 of you, who have listened to me. And I think I have overburdened you with a lot of ideas, which are your own. No, none is my original idea, not a single. I'm only like a Mali. So don't praise me for the flowers. They are yours. And I'm grateful to Veena, particularly, who asked me to do this small exercise. And Veena, I must tell you, in preparing this lecture, I really enjoyed reading some of the things which have been very beneficial to me. God bless you all. Namaskar. Any questions? I'll be happy.
थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट सर। क्या बोलूं, अब बात तो इतनी जबरदस्त आपने कही है ना। मेरा टेक अवे तो यही है कि हॉलीडे ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म, है ना, शायद मैं आज से अभी से प्रैक्टिस चालू करूं। और किताबों में लिखी होगी सारी बातें, लेकिन जो आपकी दृष्टि से आपने देखा वो शायद किताबों से हम नहीं उठा सकते।
नहीं, सब किताबों से ही है।
लेकिन आपकी जो जीवन की दृष्टि है।
एक बात बताऊं आपको। अच्छा सुनिए सर, ये मैं एक बात कहना भूल गया कि ये जो पॉजिटिव साइकोलॉजी आई है ना सारी, सेलिगमैन की, मार्टिन सेलिगमैन की, उसमें लिखा है योग एंड प्राणायाम,
also
they help, and meditation. So this is impact of Indian ethos on positive psychology. तो हमारे लिए नई नहीं है। Nothing is new for Indians in positive psychology. But I'm telling you one thing, हम विश्व गुरु तो नहीं मानते अपने आप को, but the impact of Indian thought and philosophy on the whole world will become manifest. It's becoming manifest. And so आपने किताबों की बात करी, किताबों में ज्ञान तो होता ही है, सब बहुत गजब का ज्ञान है। अब नई किताब आई है, पता है आपको, जिसमें कि हमारे पुरुषार्थ नाम है किताब का। ये वही लोग हैं जिन्होंने इकिगाई लिखी है जापानीज सिस्टम पर। द सोर्सेज ऑफ इंडियन हैप्पीनेस हिंदुइज्म पर है। एंड मजा आ जाता है। अरे बाहर के स्कॉलर हमारी ग्रंथों को पढ़ रहे हैं और अपने ग्रंथों को हमें पढ़ना चाहिए, तो दैट रियली हेल्प्स अ ग्रेट डील। थैंक यू सर।
सर, लेकिन आपकी दृष्टि से हमने इन चीजों को देखा तो शायद हम और ठीक तरीके से समझ पाए। अंकिता हमारे बीच है, शी इज इंटरेस्टेड टू आस्क अ क्वेश्चन। ओवर टू अंकिता।
Hello, good evening, everyone. No, I'm not interested to ask a question because trust me, the talk is like मैं बहुत छोटी हो जाऊंगी अगर मैं क्वेश्चन पूछूं like it is not there's nothing to ask, it's about to gain. And trust me, this is after I even wrote in the chat box that after a long day at work, listening to generally I'm not very I'm skeptical about webinars and talks online. But मैं पहले सिर्फ ये earphones लगा के सुन रही थी. I'm just giving a very honest opinion of what I felt. मैं पहले सिर्फ एक ईयरफोन लगा के अपने बाकी घर के काम कर रही थी. बट फिर मैंने धीरे धीरे दूसरा भी ईयरफोन लगा लिया और मैं दोनों कानों से सुनने लगी किचन का काम करते हुए. So, and there were so many things that I could relate on a day-to-day basis or in personal and work life that we do at work. And I guess there are two big takeaways that I have from this particular talk today is introspection. कि 15 मिनट आपने अपने आप को देने चाहिए to introspect because a lot of questions get asked in that introspection itself.
Very
And
good.
I
Very
guess
good.
and I guess forgiveness. Yes, because हम कितना भी टॉक अटेंड कर ले, कितना भी बड़ी बातें कर ले, हम कहीं ना कहीं अपने आप को और अपने आसपास के लोगों को किसी ना किसी चीज के लिए ब्लेम करते हैं. And it could be at times, maybe forgiveness is something which helps you make a better person for yourself. So these are the two big takeaways I have, at least for myself. And trust me, sir, like you have changed my definition of listening to online talks. Like I'm
Oh, really, really.
really like I have
Thank you.
I should say that ISTB Jaipur has got a very great event today, and I as the RVP North will definitely be like I would request Rajesh sir and Veena ma'am to have sir in maybe another event of ISTB at a national level because this is something that we require. Learning and development is not something only at the HR front. Learning is something what sir has spoken right now. That is personal learning and development. So I would request you, I would invite you, sir, as RVP North. I invite Ramesh, sir, to one of the events. And I would definitely press to have you, sir, here in Delhi or any of the national events of ISTD.
Send me your phone number. You're such a wonderful girl, lady, and very wise. I mean, you are sagacious, I would say.
Thank
Your
you,
comments
sir.
are most meaningful. And
Thank you, sir.
वीना जी से मेरा नंबर लेना बेटे और मुझे
हाँ जी, definitely, sir, definitely.
you are
Rajesh, sir, we'll speak after this. Maybe we'll
Yeah, yeah.
definitely have Ramesh, sir, for any of the ISTV national events, depending upon his schedule.
He is a assets of the nation. So why I study could not enjoy his wisdom particularly?
Like today, 40 people of like us who have enjoyed it. I'm very sure there'll be a lot of us who would like to enjoy it. I would like to listen to him again.
Thank you.
100 people
Okay,
are.
bete, yes, I thank you very much for the comments that you have made. I really feel enthralled and happy and satisfied. Just give your number to Veena ji and
Sure,
take my number from her. Because,
Sure.
interaction and talking to each other really helps a great deal. I think you are very well read also. Good. Any other
Thank
question?
you, sir.
Vasundhara ji, Vasudha Pandey ji, you raised your hand. Would you like to
Yes,
say?
yes, sir. I don't know what to say because I've met Arora sir quite a time now. But and I listen to him every day. Every day he shares his
Video
motivational
देखते
video,
रहिए.
and I watch it every day. But so I would say someone could watch only one video on motivation in their lifetime, just one. It should be this one. So it was historical. Nothing was left. It was so encapsulating. I think every aspect of motivation from humility, leadership, self control, positivity, you name it, and he mentioned it. And the stories were so engrossing, and I can see faces, and everyone was nodding and so happy. And the way you spoke the story of Mark Twain's daughter. It was like a 3-year-old daughter was speaking, and she was so sad. We can actually feel how she must have articulated the lines, the pain to her father. It was so beautiful. The video is the ultimate reflection of how motivation can be communicated in the most powerful, moving, and life-changing way. So it was I loved it.
I thank you very much, वसुधा बेटे, you are wonderful. ये पता है मेरी वीडियो पर ना कमेंट बड़े बड़े लिख के भेजती हैं. And I tell you, sometimes I find you, मैंने सोचा नहीं था ये कैसे सोच रही है. She's so good, perceptive. Thank you very much, वसुधा बेटे. God bless you. Any other question? Well, Veena ji, you want to say something?
Yes, sir, I have a question. Yes, sir. So, as a trainer, because you yourself have been, an academician and trainer, I am in this dilemma when you mentioned that first internalize and then you speak about it. So, as a trainer, the conviction is great when you are living it and then speaking about it. But I find that practically, अभी तो मैं बहुत मेरे लिए बहुत दिल्ली दूर है. तो क्या मुझे जब तक खुद पे लागू ना करूं आई शुड नॉट स्पीक अबाउट इट, या मैं सेलेक्टिवली सिर्फ जो लागू कर रही हूं अपने पे
नहीं,
दैट
ये
इज द ओनली
बीना
थिंग
ये
आई
करो,
शुड स्पीक
ये
अबाउट.
कहो कि मैं ये अच्छे इस गुण को मैं भी जिंदगी में आत्मसात करने की चेष्टा कर रही हूँ. That will be better if you really feel. But knowing you well, you are extraordinary woman. You're extraordinary. You're extraordinary woman. I've known you for 25-30 years now. And so you're extraordinary. तो मैं तो कहता हूँ हाँ भी कर रहा हूँ, मेरे में कई कमियां हैं. You say that is there. जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैंने इसमें एक पॉइंट वो नहीं लिया, डोंट गेट इजीली हर्ट ना. क्या है किसी ने कुछ कह दिया तो फॉरगेट इट. तो उस पॉइंट को मैंने आज जान के नहीं लिया, क्योंकि मैं इस पॉइंट को जिंदगी में इजीली हर्ट तो नहीं होता हूँ, पर हाँ डिफिकल्टी से हर्ट हो जाता हूँ. तो मैं कह रहा जब तक कि मैं पूरी तरह से नहीं कर लूंगा, इस पॉइंट को नहीं लूंगा. आई मस्ट नॉट बी हर्ट एट ऑल. दूसरों की गलतियों से, दूसरों की बेवकूफ़ियों से, दूसरों की कमियों से मुझ पर क्या असर पड़ेगा? वाई शुड दे बी अलाउड टू रियली हर्ट मी? आई शुड बी स्ट्रांग एनफ, एंड आई विल बी समडे, आई एम श्योर. आज नहीं तो क्या हुआ, परसों हो जाऊंगा. क्या हर्ज है? ईमानदारी बेस्ट है, कह दो. ओके, एनीदर थिंग?
प्रोफेसर
वंदना चौधरी जी, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
सर, प्रोफेसर अनिल मेहता जी.
Yes, sir.
And one more question after that one, then we are going to conclude with the thanks note by Dr. Vandana.
From Atul
sir.
to everyone, I have a question.
Professor Mehta, sir. Then Atul.
Okay. Since last 4 decades, I have been listening to Professor Ramesh Arora. In fact, whatever I am today in academics, it is only and only due to Professor Arora. Whatever little I could contribute in the field of
No. You are a self-made person. You are a self-made person. You are outstanding. Anil Mehta Sahab, I have known you as a human being. You are outstanding, and as a scholar and a trainer and an author, you are really very, very good. Very high pedestal. I keep you there.
In fact, still today, I have to learn a lot many things from Professor Arora. बहुत नजदीक में अरोड़ा साहब के रहा हूँ, और मैं बिल्कुल दिल से बात करूँ कि जितनी देर मैं अरोड़ा साहब के साथ बैठता हूँ, मुझे हर मिनट कुछ ना कुछ सीखने का मौका मिलता है.
Very kind. You're very kind. You're very kind. Very kind.
लेक्चर्स तो बहुत लोग देते हैं, लेकिन शायद आपने बीच में कहीं कहा भी था कि इन्होंने उन लेक्चर्स को अपने जीवन में उतारा है, और ये दिमाग की बात बहुत कम करते हैं और दिल से ज्यादा बोलते हैं, और इसीलिए हम सबको बहुत बहुत अपील करते हैं, और सही मायने में तो मेरे आइडियल और मेरे प्रेरणा के स्रोत हैं. इतना ही कहना चाहूंगा सर आपके लिए.
I love you, Anil. I love you very much. Yes, you know it, and you know it well. अच्छा, अतुल जी कहाँ हैं? वो सवाल पूछ रहे थे.
Atul, are you?
Yes, sir. Sir, could I ask the question now?
Please.
Yes. So my question is very basic. Like, as a student, what should be our approach to be such positive? Like, how can we contain such positive aura with regards to our modern day anxieties and fears of a student who is struggling with his studies, or somewhat in the section of employability or something like that? Because I do not find myself as much as mature as the elderly people already are. How should we contain ourselves as more calm and more peaceful and more stronger in the inner side?
जो मैं बात कहने जा रहा हूँ आपको लगेगा अरे ये क्या कह दिया. मैं सवेरे उठ करके आधा घंटा अच्छे वीडियो सुनता हूँ. कभी विवेकानंद सुन लिया, कभी रमन सुन लिया, कभी ओशो सुन लिया, कभी बुद्ध को सुन लिया, और इतने अच्छे अच्छे अमेरिकन स्कॉलर्स हैं, कई तो गजब के हैं। तो मेरी इच्छा से, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई वांट पीस, हाउ टू पीसफुल, मैं कहूँगा हाउ टू बी काम, गूगल सर्च में डाला और इकट्ठा आ जाता है। आप भी ऐसा करोगे, जो जो आपकी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उनको लिखो और सर्च में डाल करके अपने जो अच्छे अच्छे वीडियो हैं 10 12 15 उनको इकट्ठा एक जगह पर लगा लो और उनको सुनते जाओ। और जब भी टाइम मिले, 2 मिनट का, 3 मिनट का, 5 मिनट के, सब तरह के वीडियो होते हैं, उनको सुनो, बड़ा इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है। दूसरा, एक अच्छी किताबें, एक आध किताब जरूर अच्छी पढ़ो, एंड दैट विल हेल्प यू अ ग्रेट डील। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपकी किताब का जो आपके जवाब है ना, आपकी किताब का जो प्रॉब्लम्स का जवाब, वो काफी कुछ डेल कार्नी का हाउ टू स्टॉप वरिंग स्टार्ट लिविंग में मिल जाएगा आपको। स्ट्रेस मैनेजमेंट पे किताबें हैं बड़ी अच्छी। रामकृष्ण परमहंस के कुछ बुक्स हैं छोटी छोटी। तो आइडियाज जो है ना, सारे के सारे वो पहले से दिए जा चुके हैं। हर इंसान की प्रॉब्लम्स वही रही हैं जो आपकी और हमारी आज है। एवरी पर्सन हैज फेस द सेम प्रॉब्लम्स, if not same, at least similar, if not identical, similar, and they have also resolved the issues. तो हम भी वैसे कर सकते हैं। We should have our own model and paradigm of transformation, which is possible. बिना नॉलेज के तो कुछ होगा नहीं, पर ध्यान से सुनो। मेरे 30 मिनट सवेरे उठते ही अच्छे वीडियोस पे जाते हैं, मैंने लिस्ट बना रखी है, निकाल रखे हैं सारे, और मैं सुनता हूँ। एक विवेकानंद जरूर होता है उसमें। और कई बार तो मैं हैरान रह जाता हूँ कि जैन फिलॉसफी के जो वीडियोस हैं, माय गॉड, और बुद्धिस्ट फिलॉसफी के हैं, मतलब हिला देते हैं आपको टोटली। कई बार तो ओशो ऐसी बात कह देता है जो, मतलब मैं सोचता हूँ, माय गॉड, इसने क्या कह दिया। इट इज सो अमेजिंग। बेसिक क्वालिटीज टू बी डेवलप्ड इन लाइफ आर करेज, boldness, strength, honesty, articulation, love, friendship, giving, forgiving. Make a list of 10 qualities you want to develop in life. And every day give marks to yourself out of 10 for each quality. पहले के नंबर आएंगे 70, कभी 60, कभी 65। 100 पे जाओ ना, आते आते हो जाएगा। So you should take charge of your life. And the only guru in this world is yourself. You remember what Lord Buddha told Anand? Anand ne kaha, no, who will give me wisdom, who will give me motivation, who will guide me what is right, what is wrong? You are leaving the world of Buddha. Buddha said, I never had a guru. You also don't need one. Anand, apodipa bhava, be your own light. Please, apodipa bhava. You have a responsibility to love yourself, to guide yourself, to be your teacher, to be your mentor, your father, a person who you inspire. It is your responsibility. Don't have dependence syndrome, have independence syndrome. That will help you. Every day, in every way, you must become better and better.
Thank you so much, sir, for your advices. And it was my very second session जो मैंने आपके द्वारा दिया गया session attend किया था. And it was my very second time just when I fell into your thought process. Last time it was the research ethics session I attended at University of and
English
now
department. You're from English department.
In the Social Science Research Center.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. After that, the English department called me for a lecture on ethics in research. अच्छा, मैं हिंदी मीडियम का स्टूडेंट, जिंदगी भर एमए में जाके अंग्रेजी सीखी, तो इंग्लिश डिपार्टमेंट मुझे बुला रहा है। मैं तो पहले बड़ा कांपा, क्या होगा उनके सामने, कैसे बोलूंगा। बट उन्होंने ये कहा, मैं अच्छा बोल गया। दैट वाज ए ग्रेट रिलीफ। वही टॉपिक, एथिक्स इन सोशल रिसर्च। आई थिंक मुझे याद आता है, इफ देयर इज इंटीग्रिटी नथिंग एल्स काउंट्स, इफ देयर इज नो इंटीग्रिटी नथिंग एल्स काउंट्स। इंटीग्रिटी लाइफ में होनी चाहिए, एथिक्स होने चाहिए। लंबा साहब चुपचाप बैठे हुए मुस्कुरा रहे हैं, सर बोलिए ना कुछ।
Sir, good evening once again, and greatly grateful for learning such a wide ranging of behavior pattern in all throughout life. I have a submission to make, having you as my guru in true sense. From beginning, when you were the president of higher study chairman, and I used to accompany you to Delhi very often. I have a submission today with regard to this positivity and negativity. If we have less number of negative words in our vocabulary, then we will certainly not use them because they are not there with us.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And
wonderful.
we will find our run throughout the life will be very smooth. when we keep having least number of negative words in our vocabulary, sir.
ओह वंडरफुल, कितनी अच्छी बात कही है आपने। मैंने एक बार
And
लिस्ट बनाई थी नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव वर्ड, मैं अभी नोट कर लिया, ये वर्ड्स की मैं लिस्ट दोबारा ढूंढूंगा कि भाई विच वर्ड्स टू बी, नहीं मेरी किताब में है, आर्ट ऑफ लीडरशिप में मैंने लिखा है कि वर्ड्स नॉट टू बी शुड नॉट बी यूज एंड वर्ड टू बी यूज। आई थिंक उसको मैं एक्सपेंड करूंगा, आपकी बात अच्छी है।
smart salute to you, sir. We all enjoyed so much, and I keep listening to your all programs, and it gives me all the strength and knowledge and a great higher learning that affects
सर
my
आप क्या कह
personal
रहे हैं,
life, sir.
आप तो स्वयं ही सबके गुरु हैं, बहुत अच्छे ट्रेनर हैं, और आपने जीवन में युद्ध लड़ा है देश के लिए और हमारे लिए भी। आपके प्रति हम नतमस्तक हैं।
Smart salute to you, sir, and thank you so much indeed.
थैंक यू
Greatly
वीना
grateful.
जी, थैंक यू सर प्रेसिडेंट साहब, सो काइंड ऑफ यू।
सर एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है, कोई रेडमी है, फिर उसके बाद मैं डॉक्टर वंदना को आमंत्रित करता हूँ। सर यू रेज योर हैंड, रेडमी, प्रेजेंट एनी नेम? Would you like to ask anything else from this to the sir?
अतुल जी कौन?
No, sir, Redmi. There is a one Redmi. Okay, I think that he is not making himself unmuted. So over to our dynamic Secretary General, Secretary of ISTD Jaipur, Dr. Vandana Chaudhary.
सबने इतना थैंक यू और ग्रेटफुल रहे हैं कि अब मेरे पास तो सिर्फ 2 लाइन है सर आपके लिए कहने के लिए। शरद पूर्णिमा का दिन है आज का, बहुत ही पावन अवसर है। तो आपके आज ज्ञान की रोशनी के आगे सच में सर पूनम के चांद की रोशनी भी फीकी लग रही है। बस मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूंगी आपसे। नहीं सर सीरियसली
तारीफ उतनी ही करो जो सच्ची हो, लगे ऑथेंटिक लगे।
सर ये ऑथेंटिक ही है, ये ऑथेंटिक ही है।
मतलब
आपके ज्ञान से जो हम सब नहाए हैं आज सर, वो प्रैक्टिकल और रियल ज्ञान है। चांद तो ऊपर है, सबको देना है, लेकिन आपके ज्ञान से जो हम नहाए हैं,
मिट्टी का कण भी नहीं है जो वास्तविक ज्ञान का, मिट्टी का कण भी नहीं है। इतना
हमारे लिए वो मिट्टी समुद्र है सर। आपके लिए वो मिट्टी है, हमारे लिए वो समुद्र है। तो मैं सबकी तरफ से आपका बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ। और आपका जो पॉजिटिव साइकोलॉजी को लेकर है, क्योंकि मैं भी एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट हूँ और मैं पॉजिटिव साइकोलॉजी और रेजिलियंस पर ही काम करती हूँ, स्पेशली बच्चों में। तो मैं उनमें यही चीज इनकलकेट करने की कोशिश करती हूँ कि किस तरह से रेजिलियंट लोगों में होना चाहिए और बच्चों में भी होना चाहिए। सो मैं और बाकी यहाँ पे
कहाँ पढ़ाती हैं आप वंदना?
सर मैं पहले बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस में थी और मैं काउंसलर्स की ट्रेनिंग लेती थी, और अभी रिसेंटली मैंने मिलिट्री ज्वाइन की है एज अ वेलनेस काउंसलर के रूप में। सो आई डू देयर वर्क। मैंने वहाँ पे आर्मी वाइफ्स को ट्रेन किया था एंड अभी उनके साथ रेगुलर में ज्वाइन कर लिया है मैंने।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। You are spreading positivity and strength. Wonderful.
Yes, only on that, sir.
Veena, thank you once again. Thank you once again.
So I thank you all the audience and listeners. So make this session so vibrant also. So thank you so much to all of you.
मैं सबकी वंदना करता हूँ। नमस्कार। Okay, all the best, and here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vandana. Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoyed every moment of it. Fabulous and fantastic. Very well organized. And a guru of this level and more number of very good speaker we have in ISTD. ISTD is full of big mind in true sense, what sir has talked about, you know.
Sir, it's the utmost efforts of Dr. Veena Arora, and she is contributing in a perfect manner.
Veena keeps vibrating all through. I keep listening and reading what she writes all about. Fantastic person. God bless you all. Thank you so much.